Sister, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Good
How are you,
evening.
sister?
Good, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening. Okay. Thank God. Yeah, good evening.
Ma'am, வீட்டுக்கு வந்துட்டீங்களா?
வந்துட்டேன் சிஸ்டர்.
ஓகே.
ஏன்னா அங்க 7:30 வரைக்கும் யூனிவர்சிட்டி
ஆமா.
கஷ்டம்ல. அதனால இங்க வீட்டுக்கு வந்துட்டேன்.
நானுமே வந்துட்டேன் மேம்.
ஆமா, that's better now, sister, so that.
Hi, madam. How are you?
Good, Kamli ma'am.
I'm fine, Komli ma'am. How are you?
Still alive?
Nice to see you. Yeah. So you're all set? Everything is ready?
Yeah, everything is ready, ma'am.
Super.
Kamli ma'am, how do we pronounce your name? How do you pronounce?
Komali is okay.
Not for you, but the today's speaker. Elif.
Just you can tell that Elif because it is very difficult to pronounce even to me as well.
Okay, Elif. The other one?
Balakwis.
Balakwis. Okay.
Yeah.
Elif Balakwis.
Yeah.
So happy Women's Day.
Oh, same to you, ma'am.
Sister, the program is live in.
Yeah.
Happy Women's Day. Yeah. Happy Women's Day. So the program live, sister, you're on YouTube.
Okay.
We will share the YouTube link also. We will share it in the chat box so that people can join and they can
fine.
see afterwards also. Siga joined already. Yeah, Siga's there.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Siga.
Good
என்ன
evening,
வீடியோ
sir.
எல்லாருக்கும் ஆஃபா இருக்குங்களா?
Good evening, Sigamani sir.
சார் நமஸ்கார், குட் ஈவினிங். ராஜா
Welcome,
சார்,
sir.
how are you சார்? நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா?
Fine, sir. Super, sir.
சூப்பர் சூப்பர். ஷார்ப்பா ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடுவோம் சார் 6 o'clock.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
நம்பர்ஸ் வந்து இப்போ நேத்து மாத்திரம் 150 ரெஜிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் ஆயிருக்குங்க.
ஆமா
Okay.
சிகா.
640 பிளஸ். Hi
Siga,
Madino.
I have shared the YouTube link also.
Okay, okay ma'am. Now it's
Madino,
on
good
live.
evening. Yeah, it's on
Madino.
live, Siga. YouTube live. It's going.
Madino, whenever you do the MC, you switch on your video.
Sorry?
Whenever you switch on, when you do the MC part of it, you switch on the video.
Okay, okay.
Switch on your.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, audible. Yes.
Yes.
You're clear. Very
Okay.
clear.
Good. Ma'am, am I visible now?
Yeah, fine.
Very well.
Yeah,
Very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The view is good.
Okay, thank you.
Our team members, others. Vignesh, brother, Santosh, Teresa. Ma'am? Evelina ma'am?
Yes, Siga.
Ma'am, live on the shall we
Yeah,
start
Siga.
at 2 o'clock, ma'am? Sir, good evening.
Live?
Ma'am, live program, live போட்டிருக்கீங்களா யூடியூப்ல வந்து
Yeah, Siga.
நம்ம 6 ஆரம்பிக்கலாம்.
ஆமா, அது போட்டோமே, link போட்டாச்சு.
சொல்லிடுங்க.
இப்ப ரிமூவ் பண்ணிடலாமா?
அதுதான் மேம். நம்ம 6க்கு வந்து ஆரம்பிப்போம் மேம். அதை delete பண்ண சொல்லிடுங்க ஃபுல்லா.
அந்த லிங்க் இப்ப delete பண்ணி சொல்லட்டுமா?
இல்ல மேம், அந்த இது
பண்ணிட்டு
வந்து
மேம் ஃப்ரெஷ்ஷா வந்து
லைவ்
6க்கு ஆரம்பிக்கலாம்.
இந்த hours வந்து நம்ம சேவ் பண்ணலாம் இல்லையா? We need not give this hours. ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணும்போது கரெக்டா ரெக்கார்டிங் பண்ண தொடங்கிறீங்கன்னு சொல்றேன். See, I think recording they may do later. Now it is only okay.
Live. Yeah, yeah. It's
Okay.
not yet
Recording
started. Recording is not
start
yet.
at 6 ma'am.
Yeah, it will start at 6.
Okay, okay.
Otherwise, our informal chat and all will come there.
Call will be recorded on our record. Komli ma'am.
I'll call our team. They are not yet started. Means joined.
Hi, how are you, ma'am?
Still alive, sir.
Well prepared. Well prepared for the program.
I think so, sir.
Very good. We have a good response, ma'am, for this.
It's a huge response, sir. 630 means.
40 plus something.
Oh, it is very huge response.
So, ma'am, our speakers would be joining at 6, no?
பாலு சார் வணக்கம், நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா?
Beautiful woman draws strength from troubles. She smiles during distress and grows stronger praise.
Hi, Elif. How are you?
Hi, Komali. I'm fine.
Good. Thank you for attending. For giving me.
Thank you, Komali.
Uh.
I hope you are doing well.
Yeah, still alive. That's good.
Perfect.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm fine. As you know, I'm the time different between some colleagues from different university in Turkey and also the industry. We are working on a new project, and I'm in the office now. As you know, I have started the university.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit busy, but it could be fine.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Belikris. How are you?
Hi, fine. And you?
Fine, still alive. That's good.
Yeah, nice to see you. Long time ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm really appreciated for that, Komali.
You're welcome.
Shall we start?
I think so, ma'am.
Yep.
So we can start at 6.
Yes, you know.
Should I start, ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, should I start?
Yeah. All the best.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Good. A beautiful woman draws strength from troubles. She smiles during distress and grows stronger with prayers and hopes. Happy International Women's Day to all female participants. And on this auspicious day, I am ecstatic to welcome you all to the virtual faculty development program on transdisciplinary research. I wish to thank each one of you for being here with us and gracing our event. My name is Hadeno Joy, and I have the privilege of being your host for today's session. Before we get started, I would like to share a glimpse of the purpose behind today's event. As we all know that transdisciplinary connotes a new paradigm of scientific inquiry that transcends boundaries of disciplinary silos to address critical issues in a coherent way. It is contrary to interdisciplinary, and multidisciplinary refers to the true integration of disciplines at the level of concepts, assumptions, theories, methods, and interpretation, which promotes theoretical, conceptual, and methodological reorientation with respect to core concepts of the participating disciplines. Therefore, the Central University of Tamil Nadu, Paradise University, Kantikram Rural Institute, Solent University, and University College of London has jointly organized the Faculty Development Program from 8th to 10th of March 2021, with a vision to provide an opportunity for faculty with a passion for research to develop competence and acquaint themselves to new methods of research through cross-national knowledge transfer. I shall now read through the order of today's program. Welcome address by Dr. M. Hilaria Sonturi, Director in Charge, Center for Women's Studies, and Assistant Professor, Center for Applied Research, Kantikram Rural Institute, Tamil Nadu. Professor M.R. Gubendran, the Vice Chancellor in charge of the Kantikram Rural Institute, is supposed to address the presidential nod. However, due to an unavoidable circumstances, he will not be able to join us today, and for which I sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. The first session will be on methodological concerns in transdisciplinary research by Dr. Elif, Department of Food Processing, Vocational High School, Ankara Yildirim Beyazit University, Turkey. The second session will be on academic misconduct and ethical issues in transdisciplinary research by Dr. Bilquis Alali, School of Science, Engineering and Environment, University of Salford, United Kingdom. The vote of thanks will be delivered by Dr. Komali, Research Fellow, Research and Innovation, Solent University, Southampton. Also an Honorary Research Fellow, Department Civil, Environmental and Geometric Engineering, University College London. As we begin the program, I now invite Dr. M. Hilaria Sonturi, Director in charge, Center for Women's Studies, Assistant Professor, Center for Applied Research, Kantikram Rural Institute, Kantikram, Tamil Nadu, to address the welcome note.
Thank you, Manu. Am I audible?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. So, wish you all a good day. March 8th being the International Women's Day, on behalf of the organizing team, we wish all the women participants a very happy Women's Day. And today is a special day because you will have all the speakers, only women speakers. So that is the unique feature of the program of the day that you have. So I wish my warm welcome to each one of you on behalf of the organizing team, that is the Department of Social Work, Central University of Tamil Nadu, and the Department of Social Work, Bharatiyar University, and Solent University and University College of London, Center for Women's Studies, Gandhigram Rural Institute. This faculty development program on transdisciplinary research is a new venture. Transdisciplinary research has been a new frontier in the world of research. It crosses beyond the interdisciplinary research and the multidisciplinary research. Today, being the International Women's Day, where we aspire for women empowerment and gender equality, we believe that the transdisciplinary research will be more apt and applicable. Faculty development program of this transdisciplinary research aims to provide the knowledge and the methods of this new research form and to make us aware of the ethical issues of transdisciplinary research. And we have eminent speakers, Dr. Elif of Department of Food Processing from Turkey. She will share with us the methodological concerns of transdisciplinary research. On behalf of the organizing team, I welcome Dr. Elif. And my welcome to Dr. Belquas from School of Science, Engineering and Environment from University of Salford, UK. She will be addressing us on the academic misconduct and ethical issues. Dear ma'am, we are very happy to have you with us. A warm welcome to you too. We will extend our welcome to all the faculty members and research scholars and students across the globe who have joined us this evening. And our warm welcome to all the authorities of the organizing universities. I do extend my hearty welcome to the team members, Dr. Sigamani from CUTN and Dr. Lavlina from Bardiyar University and Dr. Komi from Solent University, UK, and other faculty members, Dr. Lekha, Vigneshwaran, Teresa, Santosh Madino, Palraj and Jayabhaskaran, who have made this faculty development program a reality. Also, Dr. Balu of Bardiyar University and other technical staff who have joined us and make this faculty development program more viable from the technical point of view. So, dear friends, on behalf of our organizing team, I extend a warm welcome to each one of you and wish you all a happy evening. Have a wonderful learning session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We shall now move on to the sessions of today's program. For the first session, the topic will be on methodological concerns in transdisciplinary research by Dr. Elif. Dr. Elif is a lecturer at Ankara Yildirim Beyazıt University, Turkey, where she teaches food processing technologies, quality assessment with novel technologies. She combines multidisciplinary expertise in valorization approaches of waste and/or byproducts of different food products, from poultry to different seafoods such as frog, different fish species, and fish. Her main research focused on utilization of biomaterial derived from different sources in several approaches in food, pharmacology, and tissue engineering. Her latest research has focused on usage of biomaterials in tissue engineering and pharmacology. She has also participated as a researcher and coordinator in several national and international multidisciplinary projects related to a wide range of research, from environmental pollutants to metaporcoding and food traceability over the last 10 years. I now invite Dr. Elif to take over the session. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Have a good day. Let me introduce by myself. I'm Elif from Turkey, and I'm the lecturer in the Ankara Yildirim Beyazıt University. Today, we will show you the other topics related to my presentation. I don't know, is it clear now, my presentation?
For me, it's very clear.
Elif, are you,
Okay.
are you,
So
I mean, PPT, if you are showing it is not visible.
Yes, it's PPT now.
Oh, no, not it. Maybe you had to come to the,
Sorry.
we like at the PPT, you have to go into the share screen and do it.
I did the share screen and the PPT. I hope you are seeing now well.
No, we can't able to see your PPT, Elif.
Okay. I can save as a other type.
Yes, please.
Sorry about that. Normally, I use these types of presentation in the Zoom, and normally it will be open. And now I'm converting to PDF.
Okay. Elif, you can go into this share screen and try, Elif, I think it will be possible.
I did actually, but you said we can't see. I don't know why, but okay.
My suggestion is first you can open the presentation, Elif, and then you can go to the share screen and you can see your presentation, and then you can go ahead.
Actually, I did, Komali. I did. But I don't know what is the problem. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that again.
No worries, no worries.
Okay.
To the full screen.
Yeah.
Elif.
Yeah, it's full screen now.
No, you have to touch the
Okay. Today I will briefly give me my information, and then we are talking about methodological concern in the transdisciplinary research. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the organization committee to inviting me these types of organization, because these types of arrangements, organization during this difficult time around the world, it's very important for me, because I think the sharing science is make me meaningful, these types of works. Today, just very briefly outline of presentation. I would like to say who I am and what I am doing, which types of research I'm focusing on, and what's the transdisciplinary research, and what's my examples of these types of transdisciplinary research, and the main conclusion. So as the secretariat and the opening speech talk about me, I'm the lecturer at the Ankara Yıldırım Beyazıt University, and in the food processing technologies. And oh, sorry, the voice. Okay. I'm combining the multidisciplinary expertise in the valorization approach. I will mention on the later presentations. You can see how I can valorize the waste of or the byproducts of the different food products. Actually, if you are asking why I'm using the valorization approach of these types of waste material, because as I know, the people have to feed, and the nutrition is not endless, so we have to reusing it, and then it could be very important for all the sustainability. So in this part, I actually very briefly I will say to my bachelor's degrees, my master degrees, and my doctoral degree in Turkey in the same university as Çukurova University, and then I had the master degree degree, additional master degree in the University of Exeter in United Kingdom. I did the genetic diversity of marine organism, for example, fluorescent protein, or how we can use all of the nature in the laboratory. I was dealing with this, and then I had the different scholarship from the University of Padova in Italy, and we did some DNA barcoding research in there. So it was very wonderful for me, and because the technological equipments or technological opportunities was very beautiful, and very opportunities is very sufficient to doing the new methodologies. So depending on then, I have the more than 25 scientific articles, 3 book chapters, and 35 conference paper. And additionally, I'm in the editor-in-chief and referrer in some journals. The scientific journal is the Molecular Ecology, Food and Bioprocess Technology, European Food Research and Technology Journal, and additionally the International Journal of Food Science and Technology. So, and again, the same question, why we are doing science, why science is so important for our future, for our next generation. So, as I think, the science should be help to real world, should be touch the real world. And so the collaborating each other, like today, we are collaborating together, and what we are doing, we are sharing science, and it would be impossible to not sharing science, and the development and sustainability will go on. So I think the science and scientists have to touch the real world. So in my scientific opinion, what I'm doing in the laboratory, that should be benefit to someone, some industry, some teacher, some students, some family, and actually all of the humanity. So, and basically today we are talking about the transdisciplinarity in these topics, in these researchers. So actually there are some meaning of the transdisciplinarity, and what about this? And you can see in this picture, researcher, decision makers, what are their expectation, and what are the conclusion on the after the transdisciplinary. So we are talking about this. It refers that across the disciplines, between disciplines, and beyond outside all disciplines. It traverse all possible disciplines to traverse meanings the zigzag like.
Elif, sorry to ask you, we can't able see your slides one by yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah, now it is okay.
Okay. Today, it refers the objective of transdisciplinarity is to understand the present world in all its complexity, instead of focusing on the one part of it. Actually, indeed, transdisciplinary research being conceptualized both 2 different points. One of them is specific kind of interdisciplinary research involving scientific and non-scientific sources or practices. And the other point is the new form learning and problem solving involving cooperation among the different parts of society, including academia, and in order meet the complex challenge of society. Throughout the mutual learning, the knowledge of all participants is enhanced. This new learning is used to collectively devise solutions and integrate the social problems. Out of these types of terminology, the academia must be touch the other parts of society, and new results and new interaction and produced. So the other things, we have 2 different types of transdisciplinary research. So it should be connection between different scientists. For example, I'm the I can say that I'm a scientist in the fisheries science, but as you can see in the later slide, I'm working with MD doctor or another food processing technology or other, for example, the biomaterialist. So it should be the transdisciplinary research across the different discipline and beyond all the discipline. So the blending the different scientists and social knowledge components, it can be significantly improve the quality, acceptance, and sustainability of such these solutions. So you can see here, and maybe the participants see very easily interdisciplinary, cross-disciplinarity, multidisciplinarity, and interdisciplinarity. On the other, the main parts of the or topics is transdisciplinarity. So interdisciplinarity, working within a single discipline, as we know, all of we know, but maybe the undergraduate students, maybe the other people want to know what is the difference between them. So the cross-disciplinarity, viewing one discipline from the one perspective, but multidisciplinarity, like maybe a little bit similarity to transdisciplinarity, maybe the people from the different discipline working together, each driving on their disciplinarity knowledge. So the interdisciplinarity, what is the interdisciplinarity? Integrating knowledge and methods from different disciplines and using real synthesis of the approach. In the main topics or transdisciplinarity, creating a unity of the intellectual frameworks beyond the disciplinary perspective. And all of the people maybe say something in their view, but transdisciplinary research must be touched all of the different benefits of the different perspective. So in here, maybe you can see the, as in this slide, you can see the different essential. Sorry?
Sorry to interrupt you, madam. Could you please share this PowerPoint presentation on full mode, madam?
Actually, when I did the full, full mode, sorry, when I did the full mode, Komali told me you can't see the presentation. Is it clear now?
No, presentation mode. You should click on the presentation mode, and then only we can see entire slide properly.
It's
not at all clear, man.
Is it clear
now?
Presentation
mode.
Okay, presentation mode now, full screen. Is it okay?
No, ma'am.
Sorry. Down there are 3 points to Elif. You have to just click the third one, Elif.
Okay, I
did. That if you click it, you will get the full views here.
You click it on the third icon, that is presentation mode, so that it will be visible to all, entire slide.
Actually, I did it, but I don't know why you can see all of the.
Sorry, okay.
It's okay, ma'am. Carry on.
No problem. Go ahead, madam. It's okay. Carry on.
Okay. So the transdisciplinarity is reflexive, interactive, and method-driven scientific principle aiming the solution or translation of the social problems and the concreteness of the related scientific problems by differentiating and integrating knowledge from the various scientific and social benefits of knowledge. So this challenge, there are some challenges because the entailing problems such as air pollution or social segregation, these types of social problems, or other the people related to the other, for example, the air pollutions, and many other persistent and complex challenges are threatening the viability and integrability of global society. These challenges have spanned a broad of variety, the social response from the industries, universities, and civil society and organization. Academia has prominently responded throughout this initiation of the new field of the research, especially since the late 19th. For example, in here you can see the 10 different essentials of the transdisciplinary research. So being reflective is very important, focusing on the transformation, focusing on solution actually. Yes, we in the scientific research, as all we know, so the finding the solution, the curiosity is so important, but the finding the solution, the focusing on the solution is another key components of the transdisciplinary research. So focusing on how to practical knowledge, how to very easily, how to very quickly, or maybe cheaper, or other things. So this is very important things. In here you can see the like a symbolization of the transdisciplinary research. Each person have touching the other points of the, for example, one problem. So in the another transdisciplinary defining, they adopt a different process of which members in different fields work together over extended periods to develop new conceptual and methodological frameworks with the potential to produce trusting theoretical approach. So in the, for example, a second a major example is the European transdisciplinary movement should be the acknowledged trans-sector problem-oriented research involving a wider range of stakeholders in society. So these both examples are necessary for full understanding the spectrum and interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary research. Here I want to show you what is the components, what is the requirements of the transdisciplinarity. So one discipline in the knowledge, maybe it's very important in the two or more different discipline, but the practice, what is the observation and the research object, it could be give a shape to research object. So for example, in the here you can see the another picture, another figurized. For example, it should be the emotional, the finance is very important, occupational and social, intellectual, different types of transdisciplinary research. We can say this should be very important for our future. For example, in here you can see who, when, why, and what types of knowledge. For example, who are the actors, or what are their roles in the transdisciplinary research? Core scientists, scientific consultants, professionals, practice experts, strategic case actors, local case actors. When they are talking about the transdisciplinary research, when they have the problem history, problem identification, and maybe they are doing the data collection, data analysis is very important, because as we know, collection data is the main part of the research, but data analysis is the second part of the main part of the research of the successful, the achievements of the research. So the synthesis and the reflection is another part, and also the publication and dissemination is the other important point, because if you are doing science in laboratory, okay, if you can't publish this research or dissemination, if you can't not do the dissemination well, so who knows your research? So the publication and the dissemination is another point of these types of complicated research. So what types of knowledge? For example, you will have the different scale. For example, generalized knowledge or context specific knowledge. So the function, what is the function of which types of function we are waiting to transdisciplinary research? The strategic knowledge or the phenomenological knowledge it should be the specific, very, very specific, depending on phenomenon, depending on the case. So for example, this should be very specific. And why? why we are doing the transdisciplinarity. So the information is so important, the consultation, social learning, all local transformation is very important. As I said before, all of the conception, all of the components are essential for the successful transdisciplinarity research. So here we can see the science with society. Transdisciplinary research, a little bit meaning as the same meaning, like a science with society, co-design of research agenda, co-production of knowledge, and co-dissemination of the results with the societal stakeholders such as governmental agencies, funders, industries, and civil society. Here you can see the co-production, as I said before, very important. Multidisciplinarity, participatory is very important. So the main topics is connecting each other, connecting different industry, different conceptual methods, different disciplinarity. And we have to aim at the main benefits. It should be to touch the society and human and for the future. For example, in here you can see very briefly, I like this dissemination of these types of things. For example, disciplinary, you can see the different vegetables, different fruits in different plate. Multidisciplinarity should be complete together. Interdisciplinarity, you can divide the fruits and other things and you can serve together, but interdisciplinarity means you can serve together which types of benefits if the disciplinarity stakeholders take their benefits. But in transdisciplinarity, we have the one benefit. But it should be touched all of the discipline. So the 7 transdisciplinarity principles, we can say in the literature, we have the different types of principle should be required to successful the achievements of the transdisciplinarity principles. So it should be the best applied to complex problem. Transdisciplinary research is the place-based and time-intensive. The transdisciplinarity term relates more academia than research partners. So the research requires well-developed leadership skills. You should manage the problems. Maybe some of them is not expected. Some of them requires more time consuming, or maybe the finding, you have to find another finding positions, another different solutions. So you have to be well-developed leadership skills. Transdisciplinary research also the intensely collaborative, because as you know, science is very important, but it should be the intensely collaborative, these types of especially research. They merge multiple knowledge streams and different value systems to create new knowledge. As here you can see, one output should be touched all of the disciplinarity, like a juice, like a fruit juice, or starting point is different, very different discipline. But in here we have the one output, but it has to be touch or benefits. It should be sustainable for future, for other things. In here, for example, how we can decide the transdisciplinarity criteria, what are the requirements. The problem orientation is so important. As I said before in my presentation, research questions are derived from the real world problems. For example, in the climate change or the sustainability of the natural products is the main problem of the real world. But in the other side, for example, if you are saying to like electricization of the cotton, in cotton material is so important. If we are comparing to climate change or the cotton electricization as a material, how we can decide? So this is the one criteria. It should be derived from the real world. And a second criteria is the suitable definition of the sub-problems. Actually, we know we have the different problems, but we have to be a well-defined sub-problems, which are the integrating, which will be actually the integrated of the results. So the third one, the free choice of the scientific methods adequate to each sub-problems. So the scientific methods, the effectivity, the efficiency, the applicability is very important. So we have to choose the scientific methods very professionally. So the last one, close relations between the sub-problems and are the crucial of the development of the all the solutions. So it has to be part of this solution. It has to be act as a key component of the main solution. Very, very important criteria of these. So for example, in here, I like also these types of schematizing. For example, the problem solving, scoping is so important. Transformative mapping is so another important. Identifying stakeholder capacities, useful ideas, and possibilities for the change. So these types, if you focusing on the complex, the top of the complex challenge, so we have to focusing on citizens, stakeholders, developing the transforming strategy and other things. So this is the like whole of the picture, but all of the main small component is so essential of these types of research achievements. Here also, I will maybe you can very easily the scientific problems, for example, the societal problems and societal discourse or scientific discourse. You can see very easily the knowledge is the main, but the definition of the problem of these types of research is the other point. So also the organization of the methodology, organization of different participating of these types of research, for example, from maybe UK or from Turkey or from Africa, South Africa. If you know your main problem, your research group problem, if you know your main concept of research, so you can see what can add all the people you doing this. For example, in my institution, I have 3 different types of the gas chromatography, or other partners, for example, in Italy, they have different types of liquid chromatography. So we can compare together and we can work in the same aim. So this is very important, and connection is so essential for this production of the new knowledge, and result of the social of things is so important. So in my up to this time, this will be. Sorry, I'm hearing some voice. Okay, now it should be perfect. Now, my transdisciplinary research, I will show some example what I'm doing from for example, using the waste material in different area, or DNA barcoding or other things. What I'm doing today, I will show you some very briefly example in my research areas. So actually, as I said before, when I realized the waste material is the main problem for the environment or the other industry or the management of the waste material is very brief problem for the sustainability, I had decided to using how I can use these types of material, because this is biological material, they are very valuable, but how we can handle these types of problem. So I was focusing on the how we can use these types of valuable things. You can see food waste is, unfortunately, we can't say, if you hear someone, okay, it's very important, the less waste or zero waste, but it should be wasting something, for example, in your house consuming or industrial scale, if you are focusing on. So I'm thinking how we can manage these types of valuable things, or the converting the biomaterials in different area. So actually, if I say biomaterial, maybe you can think different types of, because it should be bio and material. It should be including the bio, so we have the waste and material. Okay, how we can convert these waste of the biomaterial? I will show some information and some example. For example, in the supply chain, in the production of the food chain, you can see different types of waste material, different types of byproduct. Actually, I'm not focusing on just the waste of the food processing technology, also the byproduct. So byproduct is so important. Actually, it's not classified as a waste, but it should be not the direct the main product. So they are very important, like a main product. For example, it should be very rich. They are very rich as a protein source, or another food component in the proximate composition is very rich. So food production and wastage are the serious issue for the global economy and environment. And the more resources are exploited for the production, and while actually the 1/3 of the produced is disposed as a food waste. This is very, unfortunately, this is very curious. This is very serious problem. And also it's expected to, in the future, in the next 4 years, it should be the 2.2 billion ton per year. So it's actually very rich and the waste material. So and maybe some of you know the biocircular economy. Considering the physicochemical or biological nature, food waste could be used as a raw material for fuel and energy production, will facilitate the biocircular economy and reduce the environmental impacts. For example, here you can see which types of different types of food waste we are producing the waste from. For example, the rice, the vegetable oil, the potato, the apples. And here you can see different country has the different waste profilation, because it depends on the actually consumer behavior, or also the well management of these types of material. For example, in UK, you can see very briefly cereals, the waste material, or in Turkey, actually the fresh fruit. Unfortunately, they are very important. They are very reliable for us, but we are wasting. So depending on country social economical positions, the waste material also differ from each other. So, for example, from my scope, I can say the fish and its derived products are accepted the main types of seafood industry, and the fish is the most traded product in this industry. The most commonly generated waste per fish, actually it depending on how it processed or which types of, for example, fish use it. If we are talking about anchovy, or if we are talking about the tuna, so it will be changed depending on which types of species we are talking, or for example, canning, smoking, or grading. It depending on both processing technique and also the species. So, but generally the sum up, if we are talking about this, actually it generates to 75% 5% of the all of the body, maybe the waste of the generally. So it should be it's very important, and this rate is very high. So you can see here DNA, also the barcoding, another point. So maybe we can talk about here another slide. I will go again to this slide. So for example, the waste, also the plant derived food waste and animal derived food waste, differentiation. So you can see here how we can recover the these types of waste to very important bioproduct. For example, the animal food waste will be converting to collagen, chitosan, protein hydrolysate, bioactive peptides, cosmetics, or the other component. For example, plant derived products, for example, phenol, it's very important, pectin, bioactive compound, or biodiesel. So it depending on which types of waste material we are talking about and what are our main targets. So here also you can see the different types of agriculture waste or fruit waste, pretreatment, how we can converting. It should be, you can estimate, it's not very easy to converting a waste to valuable product. The processing price is the main factor to deciding is it worth or not. So if we are spending more money than we are expecting from the profit from the last product, so it should be not profitable. So the industry or the academia will not suggesting these types of application. So the using and the main targets, the using the main waste material is so important, and also the pre-treatment or process also important. So you can see here the different types of bioproduct, for example, lactic acid or ethanol or the other orange peel oil or different things. So this is the like a valorization schematic of the waste from the waste to natural bioproduct. Here also you can see the other application of, for example, anaerobic fermentation and other things. For example, you can use the several solvent and microbial electrolysis cell, and here you can see the different outputs, for example, hydrogen, ethanol, bioethanol, hydrogen. And also you can see here the organic farming, bioplastic, and other things, alg cultivation, or different things. So actually there are different type of outputs of the waste material, from the waste material to biomaterial. You can see they are all transdisciplinary research. For example, if we are using food waste, it should be related to environmentalists or the food processors, or also if you are if you produce the lactic acid, for example, here you can use this lactic acid in the microbiology or other things. For example, in the different things. For example, in the orange peel oil, you can use these types of oil in the pharmacologies or the cosmetics products. So they are all the different transdisciplinary research. In my research, as I said before, I did so many research in the fish processing. For example, we are consuming the meat, fish muscle, actually, fish meat or the shrimp or other things. In this example, you can see the whole fish fillets we can consume, okay, but we are dividing the bone and red meat or the enzyme, we can produce the different enzyme, or fish protein isolate or bone powder. So they are all the other new value added products. For example, fish oil also so important, as maybe you heard about the collagen, the other important points. For example, surimi is the important seafood products in the global seafood market. So you can see it's just from the one pieces of the fish you can produce so many different types of product in the just one briefly pieces of the fish. And in this slide you can see the ocean biomass is so rich, depending on, for example, fishery waste, algae, lipids, shellfish or finfish. Just finfish, you can see the which types of byproducts or which types of value added products we can produce. Or for example, shellfish, for example, pigments, proteins, absorbents, biopolymer. For example, chitin and chitosan is very important. I will mention in the future slide. For example, here we can see I divided the main products, co-products, and relevant derivative. For example, here you can see, for example, the telos, tilapia, carp, or tuna. We can say the gonads will be used, fish sauce will be produced, and also surimi, as I mentioned before. We can use the fillets, we can produce the fish meal or fish oil, different types of. For example, they are dividing three categories: main products, co-products, and relevant derived. So in this slide you can see how it will well organized to producing one production from the different, for example, shrimp. For example, chitin or chitosan, we can use protease, lipase, different types of enzymes we can produce from the shrimp waste. So we are using the shrimp as a meat or as the other supplements of the other, for example, salad. And also you can use the waste material for the chitin or chitosan production. So this is my examples of my transdisciplinary research, but it's not finishing now. We are using for example, I will say, as I mentioned before, byproduct and waste production from harvesting to finishing of the consumption, because the production or the process is not finishing in the factory, because up to consumer, even when the consumer eat fish material or other things, and they are wasting some part of the meal or the fish. So finishing of consumption, which could be representing around half or 70% of the total weight. So valorization of these types of things, especially the gelatin or the other bioactive compound, is so important. So in the one project, I will show the one example how we can use these types of material. In this part of project, we are using the skin of the Karasiuski bellio, and we will produce the aquatic collagen from the fish skin. Also, the fish skin we will use directly the wound healing application. For example, you can see here, directly using of fish skin has the wound healing capacity. So the food application, also food additive, we are using the food aquatic collagen. For example, food additive, because you know the gelatin or collagen is like a stabilizer or the edible coating in the food application. In here, we will use the tissue engineering. Actually here, I will say something to how we can use these types of biomaterial in the tissue engineering. For example, 3D printing, probably you heard this, and the 3D printing of the organ models is so important. Here you will see the hydrogel. This hydrogel will be composed from this material, the waste material. So the waste from the organ is the converting as a very, very good example of the transdisciplinary research. For example, how we can use, you can ask me, the tissue biology, disease study, drug screening, toxicology research, or regenerative medicine. So here we will see it's not just about the 3D tissue engineering model. You can see here the drug development or DNA microarray production. We will will use these types of biomaterial from the waste material. Here, I will say some classifying to which types of hydrogel, which types of waste material we are using. For example, microfluid spinning or the bioprinting, for example, alginate, agarose, or gelen and collagen, or the fibrin. They are all coming from the waste material from the ocean. So you can see very easily how they are important, how they are working in a complexity of the transdisciplinary research. For the undergraduate students, or maybe you can know you don't know any about the organ-on-a-chip system, the transdisciplinary research project. For example, the microengineering system, which is a microfluid culture device consisting the 3D polymeric microchannel containing the living human cell. So we are using for example, here we are using the gelatin or collagen in the transformation the organ of the 3D macro environment. So it is very important, and I think it should be the future subject. We will talking about the organ-on-a-chip system in next maybe 10 years, maybe 20 years. It should be very important from the other things, from the other perspective. So here also I will show some, for example, brown algae. We will produce to alginate, and we are using the human cell 3D printing and other, for example, bone generation, cartilage generation, liver regeneration, or drug delivery. So it is so important. It's very meaningful and very valuable. So as I said before, I'm focusing on the marine source, but also the land plants, also very rich source for tissue engineering or 3D printing or drug delivering. So the land plants also very important, and they are using very valuable 3D printing material. So the biosynthesis and the additive manufacturing, the value added process is so important because, as we said before, the nutrition is how essential for the human life. Also the health also so important, and these types of application make very easy to scientists, very easy to drug delivery or tissue engineering. They are helping to science. And if we converting the waste of these types of material in, we will use the different approach. So it should be the environmental, economical, and very sustainable application. And this is my up to here. I had mentioned to how I'm using the waste material in the different application on different industry. From this point, I will say some another research. For example, food traceability. Probably you have now some idea about what is the food traceability or what is the food fraud. And unfortunately, fish and fish products are considered the third highest risk group of the foods with the potential of the food fraudulent actions. For example, tuna species are the most traded species globally. The most common types of frauds in the seafoods, especially species substitution, species adulteration or mislabeling. While species substitution and mislabeling generally occur when high-value species are replaced with the cheaper or less desirable ones, and when the non-declarated or non-specific spices are mixed to a primary in any stage of food processing process. And this is the adulteration for the illegal economic gain. But misidentification or doubts in the naming of closely related species along the seafood supply chain can be considered the cases unintentional mislabeling. But all of them, it's not whether whether it's not unfair financial gain or unintentional mislabeling. This is very important serious threat to public health and may also have ecological impact and their endangering, or for example, the biodiversity or some specific regions. For the traceability, food traceability, for example, you are buying one product, for example, one packaged product, and you are seeing the name of the species, for example, tuna or other species, but you can't know what are there indeed in the package material. So food traceability are dealing with these types of problem, because as you know, the allergenity or the other health problem is coming from some specific species. So it's very important, and protecting the unfair financial gain, the food traceability is so important. I'm using the DNA barcoding or mini barcoding procedure in here, and we are working with together the other well, and so I'm just summarize some part these types of things. So detection, the other project is the detection of seafood allergens. So allergen is so important, and I'm using the DNA barcoding and other things, for example, detecting the seafood allergen. This should be related to public health. So I'm working together with my colleagues from the also the pharmacology and other discipline. So all of them, if I say to conclude all of the things, I'm using, for example, aquatic pollutions for a Horizon project or European, depending on European Union, and I'm collaborating Italy, Greece, UK, and other so many countries. As I said before, the success of the job, for example, the education is necessary, personal intent is necessary, the career and your skill is so important for the success of the job. As I'm concluding now, so if you want to doing science, please be curious, be persistent, well organized, be open-minded, and be positive. And thank you for inviting me to these types of organization. And you can see here my email if you want to ask any question or collaborate together, or if you have any idea about suggesting and doing something, some collaboration or transdisciplinary research, please feel free to contact me. Many thanks. I would like to say many thanks to inviting me. If you have any question, it would be perfect to I will be happy to answering the question. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Elif, on the insightful presentation. I'm sure we all have lots to take back from the points that you have shared. And thank you for your clear concept and importance of transdisciplinary research at the present in our arena, with a clear differential description of intradisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary. And also on presenting your research on biochemical, so as to enable us to have a clear picture of how to integrate or conduct a transdisciplinary research. And also thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us on the very important topic of methodological concerns in transdisciplinary.
Thank you so much.
One question, just Elif, we have a question and answer sessions, end of the meeting means end of the Belakris talk. So could you please wait and maybe we have, that's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will have the Q&A at the end of the presentation. Okay, the next session is on the topic academic misconduct and ethical issues in transdisciplinary research by Dr. Belkis. Dr. Belkis is a lecturer at the School of Science, Engineering and Environment at University of Salford, United Kingdom. Her research interests includes of knowledge management, disaster management, knowledge sharing, and organizational culture. She has been involving in team working in various settings as an active team member of research workshops, conferences, organizing, and events organizing. Over the past years, Dr. Balkis has put her efforts in accomplishing an academic career in higher education while making significant contributions on and impact on communities through her teaching and research activities. I now invite Dr. Balkis to take over the session.
Yes, hello.
You may
Yeah,
please
hello,
take the
good
stage.
afternoon. Yes, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. I would like to thank you for the attendance, and I would like to thank the organizing team for their great effort. My name is Belkis Alali. I am part-time lecturer in School of Science, Engineering and Environment at University of Salford. I'm here today to talk about issues related to the academic misconduct and ethical issues in transdisciplinary research. So I'd like to just share my presentation. Okay. Yeah. Yes, so my topic is academic misconduct and ethical issues in transdisciplinary research. I'm going to start my presentation through the presentation outlines. First of all, giving just brief meaning about the transdisciplinary research and why the idea of transdisciplinary research was suggested. Then moving in more focusing on the ethical consideration, academic misconduct and its causes. And then talking about the ethical challenges involved in transdisciplinary research. What's the correlation between transdisciplinary research and misconduct? Then talking about the challenges academic institutions will face in ensuring professional conduct. Ethical research issues to be considered, it's very important to be mentioned as well. And finally, the conclusion. Okay, to answer what do we mean by the transdisciplinary research, it can be seen there is some ideas and represent a different perspective from different point of view. It refers to a collaboration between investigators from different disciplines to create a new translation innovation that integrate and move beyond disciplines specific approaches to address common problems. Also, it can be defined as a strategies that give this, the researchers the opportunity to discuss and transcend their own disciplines to inform one another's work, capture complexity, and co-create new intellectual space. Also, it's a research approach that aims to assure sustainable development due to its ability to deal with a complex phenomenon such as socio-ecological interdependency. It derives from disciplinary, multidisciplinary, and interdisciplinary approach, where the transdisciplinary research is the collaboration of more than two disciplines in a high level of integration in order to create not only sharing knowledge, but also creating a space for developing a new web of knowledge and a new theoretical, conceptual, and methodological framework. Moving to why the idea of transdisciplinary research was suggested here, there is an idea in terms of generate practical and effective solution to the complex socio-ecological challenges that required a type of transdisciplinary research to be conducted. Transdisciplinary research is a strategy that strives to make research more holistic by focusing on a problem that got cross-disciplinary boundaries. Also, it represents a paradigm shift in research that seeks to integrate different disciplines' perspective. In this slide, I'm going to focus on the ethics in research. So basically, when we are going to think about research, we need to think seriously and to consider the issues that related to the research, and we need to think about the issues related to the research before conducting research, during conducting research, and after conducting the research. So research ethics can be defined as a set of ethical rules and guidance that guide researchers on how scientific research should be conducted and disseminated. The importance why ethical is important while conducting a research. It's to promote the aim of the research, such as knowledge, truth, and avoid of error that include fabricating or maybe mispresenting research data. Also to enhance the essential value of collaborative work, such as trust, mutual respect, for example, copyright, data sharing policies, and confidentiality, and so on. Another importance related to the encouraging public support for research in terms of the obtaining funding of their quality and integrity is assured. Boosting important moral and social values such as social responsibility, human rights, animal welfare, and public health and safety. So, for example, a researcher who fabricate data in such for example, dealing with a research in a clinical trial may harm or even kill patients, while a researcher who ignore regulation and guidance related to safety may be put at risk. So when we're thinking about ethical consideration, we need to think about the ethical principles that involve within the ethical standards in terms of rules and regulation, values. The values, it can be related to the personal value, to the organizational value, or to the research value. So for example, personal value could be the value related to the honesty, confidentiality, privacy, in terms of organizational value, that's value related to the cultural value, which enhance the collaboration, sharing, and motivating for the collaboration in the work. So what is academic misconduct? So here, we need to understand the academic misconduct while approaching or conducting the research. Especially here, I would like to mention that researchers or individuals come from different, background, different education system, is really, really important to understand clearly the rule, regulations, and the documents related to the academic misconduct and ethical consideration before starting the research. So academic misconduct is a behavior that is considering unethical because it gives the individual an unfair advantage over their peers. Also, it's from the literature review, it has been mentioned that academic misconduct is extremely difficult to detect and predict because it existing in a different or the virus forms of, misconduct. An increasing number of standards do not view plagiarism or as honest or even unethical. Examples of misconduct, there is many examples. The main or the common one is plagiarism, and also most of the students or most of the researchers at the beginning of their career, beginning of their research, sometimes they have a lack of understanding and awarenesses of the plagiarism and how to avoid that. And I would advise for this situation, take an advantage of any sessions, seminars, conducting and organizing by for example, for the university and institutions. It's very important to seek advice from others, other experts and other people. They have more knowledge about this kind of issues. Causes of academic misconduct. So as a number of factors may contribute to the academic misconduct, including institutional and contextual factors, which is associated with the perceptions of risk, and those factors or this factors which related to institutions, basically related to the formed consent and the ethical approval documents, and being, considering about those issues is very important. Personal factors such as cultural attitude, level of maturity, habit, and language difficulties, and can be seen that writing in second language is sometimes a challenge for avoiding plagiarism in some cases. Ethical challenges involved in transdisciplinary research. Cockburn and Condell identified some strategies that can be followed while conducting the transdisciplinary research to cope with the ethical challenges. The first one is about developing an ethical sense by internalizing the core principles of ethical research and incorporating them into everyday practice. Then another one, take responsibility for the relationship developed while engaging in research, and also identify and participate in community of practice dealing with a similar ethical concern. Another strategy could be incorporate reflective practice into all aspects of research, this including thinking about what and how of the research, and thinking of the research and encouraging one's personal value and assumption. The final one is adopt a relational approach to the development of competency in research practice. So what's the correlation between transdisciplinary research and misconduct? So here in this slide, I've just summarized some key points that related to the connection between the transdisciplinary research and misconduct. As such research integrates team with diverse perspective, cultural value, and ethical training. Also, transdisciplinary approaches are being widely emerged by academia institutions across the board, increasing the number of disciplines that are likely to collaborate. Also, another point is research involve human participants is not always straightforward, as it may be extremely difficult to provide protection that adequately minimize the risk. In this slide, there is some academic challenge related to the institution. That could be public confidence and research findings can be seriously affected when misconduct are brought to light, especially in high-profile cases of plagiarism, conduct of interest, or unethical practices in data collection, analysis, and reporting. Also, another challenges could be understanding accepted norms and standards of research and scholarship in different disciplines. Another one could be some cases of research misconducts are due to malicious intent, while others may simply be the result of a lack of a training in ethical decision making. Here again, I would like to emphasize about the training is really, really important, and keep going, just having updated information about the issues related with an ethical and misconduct consideration. Ethical research issues to be considered. Here, it's just, in this slide, I would like to summarize the key points related to the research issues. It could be the process of decision making in terms of thinking about what's right or wrong and what's the consequences of taking any decisions regarding any steps during the research. Also, value underpinning ethical research is really very important to consider the value that the principal value that related to the ethical consideration. And understanding ethical approval procedures. This is very important point as well, because from my experience as a supervisor, I found that some students coming from different background, different education system, they not really realize and understand in clearly way how to complete ethical approval forms. So they really need to seek help and advice. And this is what I try to do with my students, just to giving them feedbacks and try to explain and share my experience with them to avoid any difficulty during their data collection and considering the ethical issues. Working ethically in challenges circumstances, this is very important point as well, because sometimes students, they have to collect primary data from crisis area and unsettled situation context. So it's really important to think about this situation ethically. Sometimes the researcher need to involve third-part person for sometimes for collection questionnaire or distributing questionnaire. So it's very important to mention that and explain that in more detail in the ethical approval documentation. Ethical concern associated with different research methods. We know that different methods in terms of qualitative and quantitative have different, perspective, have different process in terms of contacting participants, in terms of data collection, data analysis. So it's important to consider such type of consideration as well. Also, working with the human participants required a clear understanding of the significance of form, consent, or research. It's important to explain and having open mind and open communication with the participants to make them comfortable to ask any question if they don't understand any issues on any process related to the research. It's very important to make, or to create a good and respect relationship between them, just to have this chance to feel comfortable and feel clear, and they can understand the process of the research and the outcomes, everything with a very clear way. In conclusion, I would like to conclude some points in this last slide. The transdisciplinary research approach could open important doors to achieve sustainability and knowledge transfer among disciplines. The responsibility to ensure ethical and research-related moral issues are assured in the responsibility of all. In transdisciplinary research project, junior researchers should be given the chance to make maybe minor mistakes in the pilot research, because pilot research sometimes is just useful for the early career researchers to understand more deeply and more clearly the issues related to the ethical and misconduct consideration. A new student should be encouraged to express their fears, and their experience with misconduct is very important to everyone. Try to help we are trying to help others and share our experience, because sharing experience is really help others to understand some issues, some barriers and challenges. And I found that when I share my experience with my student, and when I talk about any challenges that I have faced and I have achieved, so that make them that feeling, they feel comfortable, they have motivation, because usually the research has barriers and difficulties. You need to understand and be aware, and increase our awarenesses, our consideration about each step, and having that motivation is very important. Having the discussion and taking the advantages from others' experience is really, really important during the research processes. Regulation and rules should be looked at from the perspective of disciplines and training rather than punishment. Here in this slide, I'm just trying to express my my experience with the sharing and training, and trying to explain things very clearly and in a friendly way. That would be very helpful, because this is what I found it's really have positive outcomes with my students as a supervisor. Thank you very much.
We will first take up a few questions for Elif. Elif, can we ask you first? Can we go to you for the questions, Elif? Yeah.
Okay.
Elif,
can you hear me?
Yeah. So
Okay.
the first question is it appropriate to say that the technology is the cause behind increasing food waste, but at the same time a solution for food waste problem? So is it appropriate to say that technology is the cause behind increasing food waste, but at the same time a solution for food waste problem?
Actually, this is the very, very important point of the valorization of the waste product, because the technology is the, yes, we can say the technology is the cost of these types of process, but also the collection or transportation or the storage of the waste, and is another, there are another cost of this process. Yes, we can say technology is the main components of the desvalorization process. Also, we can say like a benefits or advantage or drawbacks of the technology. Yes, we are using technology very well for the production of the desvalorization value added products, but we can say, as you said before, the technology also help to generating different types of waste, but I think, in my opinion, it should be important to how we are using the technology or other component. It should be balanced. It should be well organized. Thank you for your question.
Not my question. That question was from Dr. Swati.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
India. Okay. There is another question from C. Palanisamy. Before that, I'll just finish one more question. That is, can you tell us how much quantity of waste food material accumulated in your country in terms of fish and other food materials, as well as the yield of biogas and biofertilizer from the food waste materials?
Actually, totally per year annually, the waste material in my country, in Turkey, it's like around the 500,000 ton, because we are a very rich country in terms of the fruit or the vegetables. As I said in my presentation, the main material of the plant derived waste, it's like around half of the waste material, and so it's very huge amount of waste. We have to manage of this. And also the other point, the yield of the biogas from the waste material, food waste material, it depending on technology, which technology we are using, but it's depending on like a 10% or 20% yield we are producing the biogas. But I'm saying again, I have to be pointed out, it depending on which technology used, because in developing countries we are using different technologies, but for example in developed countries maybe we are using the very well equipment in the processing. So it depending on technology, but I would say it is around to 10 or 20% of the yield. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Now, next question goes to Dr. Velikwas. The question is when it comes to research ethics, what is your opinion about deception, especially in qualitative research? By C. Palanisamy.
Sorry, can you just repeat the question, please?
What is your opinion about deception, especially in qualitative research?
Yes, well, in qualitative research, it's really, in terms of the ethical consideration, we need to think about the participants in terms of whether conducting, for example, interview or conducting, any type of qualitative approach, whether in a group or interview individuals. We need to make sure that if the interview will be face-to-face or by online, or this is also very important to take this kind of issues in our consideration, because it's really important. For example, if conducting interview by phone or by online materials, we need to make sure that everything on the right, and on the right and under ethical ways.
One more question.
I have one question.
Jayendra Rane, that is, what is the possibility in film or media studies in the transdisciplinary?
Sorry, I can't hear properly.
One minute. What is the possibility in media studies in transdisciplinary? The possibility in film or media studies?
Yes, the possibility for the consideration for the media study within the interdisciplinary research. It's such kind of research need to be considered in terms of in terms of the participants, whether they are for example doing or having this data collection by filming or by recording. It's really important to take all the ethical principles in our consideration in terms of privacy, confidentiality, and also for the data protection, and to explain in more details about these issues and this process and how to record and how to protect the data with the participants, and to make sure that they understand all these aspects clearly, and because they're going to contribute on that research. So it's really important to make sure that every step and every process during the data collection will be clear and will be understandable.
Thank you, ma'am. One more question from Mia's team. Is any possibility to overcome ethical issues when we are odd while following ethics among others?
Sorry, I can't hear the questions properly.
To overcome ethical issues when we are odd while following ethics among others. That is, you are left odd, you are left alone comparing to others. So in that thing, is it possible to follow certain ethics?
Do you mean how to consider the ethical while working together as a group from different disciplines? This is the question.
Yeah, group it
yes.
is easy.
Yes.
Alone. I mean, others may not be with your same thinking and all that, but you may have a different personal ethics. But is it possible in those times?
Yes. Yes, working with different, for example, with different disciplines, it's really important to understand each disciplines in terms of their, ethical standards, because each discipline has specific different standards and different standards of the ethical procedures, misconduct procedures. So it's very important to understand each disciplines, and that will be achieved by having regular meeting and comprehensive collaboration and open communication to understand each concept and principles of those different disciplines.
Thank you. Thank you. Komli, you wanted to ask something now?
Yes, please. Belakris, I have one question. Not question, actually. I would like to ask you something. What are your suggestions to the international students who would like to come to the United Kingdom to study? Because I want to give some information on the academic misconduct. What type of misconduct usually you are facing at every university, and how we are going to solve those things? Could you please give an extended answer for that? That will be helpful to the international candidates.
Yes. From my experience, as when I did my PhD and my master, and I came from different perspective, different background, different home country. So it's really difficult as a starting point when you start your research and your study with different with different education system. It's really challenge with associated with other responsibility. So it's really important, the first step, to start from the beginning, to understand all the rules, regulation, and all the documentation related to the university. So this is as a start point. It's very important to, before starting, you need to have an idea and ask every time about if there is any misunderstanding about any points, any process to be conducted. It's very important also to ask others, because the sharing knowledge is really helpful. This is from my point of view and from my experience. Asking others and try to take advantage from others' experience is really important to avoid any difficulties. So, well, I'm currently supervising from different, from different country, international students, and find out that they really aware about the ethical issues and how to fill ethical documents, and they feel like it's really hard, but I'm trying to make them calm and to explain to them it's a process, and you need to understand and to take it in terms of the ethical consideration to avoid any academic misconduct, because there is a really serious action about those, issues within the organization. So it's really important to understand and to increase the awarenesses of the consequences of academic misconduct in order to avoid any making any troubles or any affected.
Shall I continue, ma'am? Okay. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Belquist, for the informative session, and thank you very much for accepting the invitation and gracing us with your presence. And also for the insightful presentation of the necessity of research ethics, ethical principles, challenges in ethics in transdisciplinary, and also how to consider those research ethic problems in transdisciplinary research. Thank you very much. And now to proceed, I would like to invite Dr. Komali to address the vote of thanks. Dr. Komali is a research fellow, research and innovation at Solent University. Ma'am, may you kindly take over?
Thank you so much. Now my position has been slightly changed. I'm working as associate lecturer at the same Solent University, and at the same time I am also a honorary research fellow at UCL. Now, I would like to say huge thanks to the organizers as well as to the keynote speakers, Dr. Elif and Dr. Belquist. Thank you so much. You delivered an excellent presentation, and it is very informative and very useful to them, I believe, to the audience as well. I think I am also suggesting to the audience, if you have any questions or if you would like to collaborate with the keynote speakers, please write a mail to them for further collaborations and other journal articles as well. And also I would like to say thanks to the Sikasa and Lavlina madam and Hilaria madam and other associate persons as well who helped to make this event more successful. I heard that we have received more than 650 registrations, which is very massive. I'm really very, very happy for that. Thank you so much for this opportunity as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I believe if you give, are you happy to take a group photo, all of us?
Yes.
Yes.
Visually, not physically. That's very good. Yes, please. Siga
Happy
sir, are you
Women's
there?
Day.
Yeah.
I thank you so much, Alif, and thank you so much for the
You're all
wonderful
welcome.
session.
To the participants, we will just inform.
Very
there is
simple,
a
ma.
feedback form which you can apply. I mean, fill it and send it for the day one. And tomorrow also we will start at the same time at 6 o'clock. So it will be 4:30 login on time. And tomorrow there is Dr. Yogi from Indian Institute of Science will be addressing. Siga, anything else to be shared with the participants?
To the participants, the feedback form has been already posted in the chat box, so kindly fill up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, ma'am?
Sir, how can we take the photograph?
Just they can unmute themselves with video.
No, Dr. Belkais has to close the PPT first. PPT has to be closed. PPT has to be closed.
Could you please stop your sharing of presentation, please?
Yeah.
Okay. I stopped. It's not working.
Stop sharing. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you put the gallery view, we can take a photograph. Could you please, all the people, open your videos? So,
Siga
Okay,
sir?
it will be perfect.
Yes, 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 yes.
Siga?
Please open your videos, please. Yes, it's fantastic.
All sir.
Yeah, Balu sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, could you kindly take a picture?
Group photo, please.
Yeah, please.
Wait, ma'am.
Is it okay, Komali?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Participate.